Hello, my name is Isabella Garcia, and today I will be presenting on my thesis about the transformative power of inclusive marketing in the beauty industry. I'll walk you through my secondary research of existing literature, the identified problem and objectives of my primary research, hypotheses, methodology, results, as well as offer recommendations for marketing managers and future research based on my findings. To begin, let me first provide an overview of the significance of DEI in the beauty industry. Over the last few years, we've seen a growing demand from consumers for more inclusive marketing strategies, as they increasingly want to see themselves represented in the brands they engage with. This thesis examines how a brand's DEI efforts in marketing impact consumer behavior and brand perception, and why it is essential for brands to understand these dynamics. So, what is DEI? Diversity, equity, and inclusion, commonly known as DEI, are essential principles aimed at promoting representation, fairness, and equal opportunity across different identity groups. Diversity refers to the presence of varied identities such as race, gender, and age. Equity focuses on providing equal opportunities for everyone, while inclusion is about creating a sense of belonging and representation. How does DEI affect marketing? DEI has become increasingly important in the marketing world, where brands aim to resonate with their broad and diversified audiences. Consumers increasingly expect to see themselves reflected in products and campaigns they engage with, and research shows that brands who represent diverse audiences in their campaigns build stronger relationships with their consumers, leading to improved brand image, higher sales, and a more meaningful brand consumer relationship. This shift has been particularly significant in the beauty industry, where traditional standards of beauty have recently been challenged. The beauty industry has historically lacked diversity in its advertising, and this can alienate large segments of the population. In recent years, brands have pioneered inclusivity in the industry, particularly Rihanna's Fenty Beauty, which offers a wide range of shades for all skin tones. This brand is a leading example of how inclusivity, powered by authenticity, empathy, cultural sensitivity, and storytelling, can help consumers resonate with a brand, thus driving their success. Several theories supported my hypotheses and research. First, Kotler's hyperconnected framework highlights how digitalization has transformed how consumers engage with brands at different stages of the customer lifecycle. For my research, I chose to focus on the consideration and buy stages of the consumer lifecycle, as these form the basis of a brand consumer relationship. Social identity theory explains how people define themselves based on their social groups and how this influences their brand preferences and buying habits. Self congruity theory suggests that consumers prefer brands that align with their self image. Lastly, a pest analysis was conducted to contextualize the rising importance of DEI from political, economic, social, and technological influences. The beauty industry has long faced a problem of underrepresentation. Many brands still fail to authentically represent diverse consumer groups, which can affect brand perception and ultimately sales. This is particularly important as consumers, especially younger generations such as Gen Z and millennials, and minority groups demand and expect more inclusive and socially responsible brands. My research will analyze how inclusive marketing campaigns influence consumer perceptions and behaviors, helping us understand the broader impact DEI has on brand image and sales. My research aims to provide data that underlines the importance of DEI in marketing. Not only is it a growing expectation, but it is imperative to business success and fostering a meaningful consumer brand relationship. Additionally, the research will investigate the role of identity, specifically race, ethnicity, and age. My research is built around three main hypotheses. First, inclusive brand advertisements lead to more positive brand perceptions and a higher purchase intention compared to non inclusive advertisements. Second, when consumers perceive a brand as being authentically committed to DEI, it positively influences their likelihood to buy the brand. Finally, consumers who feel personally represented in a brand's marketing will have a stronger positive perception of the brand, especially for underrepresented groups and younger generations. These three hypotheses were also broken down into sub hypotheses to support and deepen the expected outcomes and insights. To test these hypotheses, I conducted a between-subject quantitative survey with about 150 diverse participants to assess the effect of the independent variable, ad type, on dependent variables, brand perception, brand preference, and purchase intention. Participants were randomly assigned to view one of four advertisements, of which two were inclusive and two were non-inclusive. My methodology involved four key parts. The first part was the stimuli exposure. Participants were randomly shown one of four advertisements, each designed to be neutral by omitting brand names and celebrities to avoid bias. About 25% of participants viewed each ad for statistical significance, and you can see the ads here on the left. So there were two inclusive advertisements and two non inclusive advertisements, all of these being from real brands. After viewing the advertisement, participants answered questions about their perception of the brand and their likelihood to purchase based on the advertisement. I then explored the participants' personal consumption habits and how much they value a brand's DEI commitments and types of diversity that they value. This helped me understand how personal preferences influence their reaction to inclusive or non inclusive advertising. Finally, I collected basic demographic information such as age, gender, and race and ethnicity to see if these factors played a role in shaping consumer behavior and brand perception. This graph gives an initial overview of the results, specifically supporting hypothesis 1 that inclusive ads lead to higher perception of brand commitment to DEI, increased brand attitude, brand preference, and purchase likelihood. As you can see, for each category, inclusive ads were ranked higher on a Likert scale of 1 to 5 compared to non-inclusive ads. To dive deeper into the results strongly supported my hypotheses. Inclusive advertisements led to a significantly more positive brand perception and higher purchase intention. I also found that the sense of personal representation in ads had a much stronger effect on brand perception among underrepresented racial and ethnic groups and younger generations like Gen Z and millennials compared to other groups. This suggests that inclusive marketing resonates especially with those who feel traditionally underrepresented and those socially conscious consumers who highly value inclusivity. It was also found that perceived brand authenticity was more important than perceived brand DEI commitment, suggesting that if a brand did not come across as authentic in their perception of DEI, then consumers would not respond as highly to the advertisements. Based on the findings of my research, I recommend three key strategies that are important for marketers to consider. First, brands must focus on authenticity when they leverage DEI in their marketing because consumers are very aware and sensitive and will see through token gestures. Brands can leverage storytelling and cultural awareness in order to authentically connect with consumers. Second, tailor marketing. Representation in ads fosters a sense of belonging, especially for racial and ethnic minorities and younger generations who highly value inclusivity. Brands need to reflect the identities and values of these groups to create stronger connections, and they can do so with partnerships with diverse influencers and brand ambassadors. And finally, integrating DEI throughout the organization. DEI must be a part of the entire business, not just marketing, to ensure authenticity and build trust with diverse consumers. My research contributes to the existing literature on DEI in marketing by offering empirical evidence on the power of inclusive marketing in shaping brand perception and purchase intention. It provides actionable insights for marketing managers in the beauty industry and validates the increasing importance of brand authenticity in DEI efforts in marketing. There were also some limitations in my study. First, the sample size was limited and may not fully represent the diversity of the beauty industry's consumer base. Additionally, only four advertisements that mainly reflected racial and ethnic diversity were used, which did not cover all types of diversity, such as age, gender, or body type, which are all very relevant in the beauty industry. And finally, the study focused mainly on the consideration and purchase stages of the consumer life cycle, but it would have also been relevant to consider the long-term impacts on customer lifetime value and brand advocacy. After analyzing my study and the results that came from it, I found that there were three key areas that would be interesting to explore further. Future research should explore DEI in the luxury market, where adoption of social values may differ from the mass market, specifically considering Gen Z's rising influence and market share. Second, the role of AI in crafting hyper personalized campaigns and product recommendations for diverse audiences would also be interesting to explore. And finally, how brands can leverage virtual spaces like the metaverse to engage diverse customers through innovative DEI initiatives and inclusive virtual representations. In conclusion, this study confirms that inclusive marketing positively impacts brand perception and purchase intention, especially for underrepresented groups and younger generations who are gaining even more market share. Authenticity is crucial. Consumers can really distinguish between genuine and superficial DEI efforts. And lastly, brands that embrace DEI as a core value, not only in marketing but across the whole organization, can foster deeper connections with diverse consumers and achieve long-term success. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to your questions in the live Q&A. And please feel free to email me with any further questions. Thank you.